While I was struggling my way through the latest episode of Alien Earth, wrestling with incoherent dialogue, pretentious metaphors, and childish characters acting like they haven't got two brain cells to rub together, my mind looked back fondly upon a time when FX actually used to give us shows that were actually worth watching. My favourite of which is Mr Inbetween, the story of the charismatic, wisecracking assassin and part-time philosopher Ray Shoesmith. Last year I made a case for Mr Inbetween being the best series of all time. It excels in all the areas where Alien Earth falls apart. There's great action, well fleshed out characters who we actually care about, and there is dialogue that is witty, funny, and at times truly heartbreaking. So in this video I'm going to attempt to list out the 7 greatest moments from the iconic series. This was actually surprisingly difficult for me, because there are just so many awesome moments in this series. I probably could have made it the 30 best moments, which is pretty impressive given there were only 3 series and each episode only ran for 25 minutes. As you've probably guessed by now, this video is going to include some major league spoilers. So if you haven't seen Mr Inbetween, I implore you to back up and watch it now. Just make sure you have 2 clear days free, because you'll need them. Needless to say, these selections are my personal preference. So if you disagree with anything, or if you think I've missed any scenes, or you think my order is wrong, let me know in the comments. So here goes. This is my 7 greatest moments from Mr Inbetween. Number 7. You can't just go around bashing my guys. We start with probably my most controversial pick on my list, but I absolutely loved this scene. After Ray's friend Gary is almost beaten to death, he sets about getting revenge. Unbeknownst to Ray, the hoodlums responsible are employed by a hot-headed but low-level gangster named Devros. In an attempt to stop the violence from escalating, Freddy sets up a sit-down between Ray and Devros. During the meeting, Devros shows Ray zero respect. He refuses to shake Ray's hand. He talks down to him, but the final nail in the coffin is that he patronises him.
In the future, if there is a problem, you won't go off half-cocked.
For a brief second, we wonder if Ray was going to let this go. We should have known better.
You just keep your guys in line, mate, okay? And then I won't have to do it for you. Nice to meet you.
Ray's response is absolutely perfect, and don't even get me started on that grin. The absolute cherry on the cake is when Ray's partner in crime sees the look on Devros's face. He can see exactly what he's thinking.
Don't even think about it. Trust me, don't even think about it.
That was good advice. Devros should have taken it. Number 6. On behalf of society. During the course of Mr Inbetween, Ray encounters many adversaries. Hapless hitmen, paedophile rings, and psychopathic gangsters. But probably the greatest recurring nemesis is Mr Sensitive Ponytail Man, otherwise known as Peter the Counsellor. There are several highly entertaining scenes of verbal sparring between Ray and the Counsellor, and I agonised over which interaction to include in this list. I eventually settled on this scene because it's just such a clever piece of dialogue.
So if you're in jail, right, and you fuck with somebody, you disrespect somebody, you can end up dead. There's consequences. But out here in the real world, there's no consequences, right? So next time these 2 pricks are walking down the street and they start thinking, oh, we might go and fuck with somebody, they're going to think twice about it, which is good for everybody.
So in your mind, you've done society a favour?
Yeah.
Well, I guess on behalf of society, I should say thank you.
It's a clever piece of writing, because this idiot unknowingly just proved Ray completely right. He wouldn't dare have said those things to Ray if he thought he was going to get punched in the face. It also foreshadows what happens later in Series 3, when Ray's cellmate is viciously attacked in prison for a perceived and unintended slight. Number 5. Matter. The greatest thing about Ray is that he's a complex character. There are many layers to him. On the one hand, he's a ruthless career criminal, but on the other, he's a devoted father who cares for his friends, and in some circumstances, even his enemies. The relationship with his brother clearly shows that Ray isn't some cold, unfeeling assassin. He cares for Bruce as his body deteriorates, but when the illness becomes too much, he offers to help his brother die. It is in their dilapidated childhood home where we get one of the most heart-wrenching moments of the series and an absolutely fantastic piece of dialogue.
I'm matter, right? You matter. We all matter. We cannot cease to exist. We can only change form.
So nobody dies.
Nobody dies.
Number 4. I'll see you in your dreams. At the beginning of Series 2, Ray is hired to kill Vinnie, the leader of a motorcycle club. This contract throws up a moral dilemma because Vinnie is a friend of Ray's, but the money on offer is just too good to turn down. In a show of many standalone episodes, the assassination of Vinnie is one of the longest running narratives in Mr Inbetween. Vinnie appears in multiple episodes. We first meet him when Ray is buying his beloved dimmies. Ray initially tries to avoid the interaction, and it soon becomes clear why. Vinnie embraces him like a long-lost brother. I myself immediately started to question whether Ray would actually go through the killing, given they were so close. That feeling only grew after the botched assassination attempt, but to my surprise, Ray does eventually succeed and bundles Vinnie into the back of a van. The dialogue in the back of the van is top-notch, as Ray and Vinnie trade war stories about the people they've killed and how both men are haunted by the faces of those they have murdered. Vinnie makes a half-hearted attempt to buy Ray off, but deep down, we suspect he knows his goose is cooked. There are no pleas for mercy, and there is no attempt to escape. Vinnie seems to accept his fate, or so I thought. However, when he eventually arrives at the location where he will meet his maker, he does finally get the better of Ray, but not in any way I could have expected.
I'll see you in your dreams.
The delivery of that line is perfect, and it sent shivers down my spine. Although Vinnie's dead, he just got the perfect revenge on Ray, because he will be living rent-free in Ray's dreams forever. Number 3. I don't answer questions. This scene I have a lot of love for, because this is the scene that first made me aware of Mr Inbetween. One day I was scrolling through YouTube and I came across a video titled How to Deal with Bullies. I don't know why, but I decided to click on it, and I'm so glad I did, because I laughed my arse off and consequently was watching the first episode of Mr Inbetween before you could say dimmies. The first interaction where Ray goes to visit the mother of the girl who is bullying his daughter is very well done. The mother is suitably obnoxious and plays the irritating insta-mum perfectly. However, the best part of the scene is when 2 hapless police officers are sent to Ray's home to question him about the interaction.
We're looking for a Ray Shoesmith. Does he live here?
I don't answer questions.
Okay, is there somebody here who can answer questions?
I don't answer questions.
Okay, I don't really know how to respond to that, sir.
We just spoke to a woman by the name of Petra Jenkins. She says you threatened her and tried to menace her.
Did she?
Yeah. You got anything you want to say about that?
I don't answer questions.
Would you mind telling us why?
I don't answer questions.
Okay.
See ya.
It's absolutely delicious to watch as these 2 useful idiots are lost for words. And this scene is especially poignant at the moment, especially in the UK, where it seems you can get in trouble with the law just for having an opinion. I'll certainly keep this strategy in my back pocket if 2 gormless sock puppets darken my doorstep trying to police my thoughts. Number 2. The Suitcase. In Series 2, Episode 4, a terminally ill man asks Ray to find the body of his missing daughter, who was kidnapped and killed by a paedophile several years earlier. The initial scene where the grieving father tells Ray and Freddie his story is heart-wrenchingly harrowing. All he wants is to lay his little girl to rest before he dies. It even leaves the two hardened criminals stunned into silence, something we don't see much of when these two are sharing the screen together. Ray visits the child rapist responsible and manages to extract the whereabouts of the missing girl's remains. He is led to a disused railway line. All that remains of this little girl is packed into a tiny, rotten suitcase. Now, I consider myself to be a bit of a bastard, and it usually takes a lot to elicit any kind of emotional response from me when I'm watching a TV program. But I defy anyone not to be moved when the father lifts the lid on the suitcase. There are no words here, only fantastic acting. It's truly heartbreaking, and actor Tyriel Mora sells the grieving father perfectly. Number 1. Run. It's fair to say that there have been many great series that have come a cropper when it comes to the ending. There's nothing worse for us fans and viewers to invest all that time and energy into a series only for some dickhead to have a typical flash of genius and round things off with the most nonsensical pile of dribble ever.
To Brandon of House Stark, I say aye.
This is where Mr Inbetween really sets itself apart, and in my opinion, it has the best ending of any series I've seen. It has the build-up of tension as the two assassins in the taxi coerce Ray into driving deeper into the woods. We know something bad is about to happen, and for one terrible moment, we think these assassins might actually have the upper hand. But then everything becomes right again, and with that quick glance into the camera, Ray tells us exactly who's going to be doing the dying. It's the perfect ending for a perfectly orchestrated show. So that's my 7 greatest moments from Mr Inbetween. Let me know if you agree in the comments.
Should have just given you the fucking cash.
Coulda, shoulda.